The enemy does not want you to see this video, but we men and women of God are protected, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So I still made it. I still provide the video and you can still watch it. And no witchcraft or whatever will make me stop from creating this video or will stop you from watching it. I'm serious. I'm serious. Hello you, and welcome to the stream of consciousness. Today we will make a video about the children in a narcissistic family unit. In yesterday's video we learned that a singular narcissist does not exist or stops existing because he has no fuel. He needs the life force of other persons around him. So narcissists they always need someone around, and in the case of a codependent narcissist, he needs another narcissist, and this other narcissist again needs at least one other person to extract narcissistic supply from, and the codependent will feast from that as well. So, and yeah, we also learned yesterday in that video that the family unit, the narcissistic family unit, is an extraction facility for narcissistic supply that is camouflaged under a facade that serves nothing else than camouflaging what is below, because the whole thing can be seen as a cult per definition, and the holy center or unholy center of this cult is the shared fantasy. By the way, so a narcissist will always have an intimate partner, and who is around the narcissists in this unit? The children, right? And to the children, the narcissist will of course tell it is love what keeps them together. And if another person from the outside of the cult will ask, do you have a relationship? Is there something, they might strategically even say there is no relationship at all in order to protect that shared fantasy. Because a person from the outside might confront them with truth, and truth is a natural antidote to fantasy and lies. And this is also the first thing where we see the potential for abuse, because the kids have to buy this fantasy, and they will learn that whatever happens between these people, this couple, is love. What they do, what they live is love. But if you know what a codependent relationship or a narcissistic relationship is all about, you know that it has nothing to do with that what we should teach children as love. It has nothing to do with that. Okay. And the second thing is that the children, of course, in general, are there to generate the supply. And this will branch out in many, many ways, because children are great to do this. They are dependent from they are born, and normally narcissists have to invest a lot of their own energy and strategy in order to make their victims dependent. And a normal person, or a grown-up, a mature person, an awakening person can turn this around completely, but a child can never turn this around, because the abuser will always make the victim believe he is dependent on him. And the truth is that the narcissist is dependent on its victims, on prey, on something to extract life force, supply, money, whatever from, because they are not self-sustaining. I can repeat this, and I will repeat this over and over, but a child cannot turn this around. It is really dependent on them. Okay, now I started before I wanted to start to go into the cases of abuse. All right, so what is the first case of abuse? Because I want to shed some light on the more subtle ways of abuse, not on these rather obvious ways that I already started to mention. And yes, one of the more subtle ways of abuse is that when either somebody visits the family unit or the family goes somewhere, so whenever there is spectators, almost like in a quantum physical experiment, as soon as there is a measurement, the measurement changes the outcome of the experiment, or what is happening, like in Schrödinger's cat. The wave function collapses. So as soon as somebody from the outside comes, light is coming in, a camera is coming in, another consciousness is coming in, the narcissists magically come to life, and the whole machinery starts to work. The children get so much love and attention, and everything is so beautiful all in a sudden. This is how the kids will perceive it. And they do not understand why is suddenly everything perfect. For this perfect picture of the Christmas, under the Christmas tree, with all the family there, everybody singing and making music. So it's a really perfect picture. So why is it suddenly this way? And then when it's all over, the narcissists kind of grey rock their own children. They lose the light in their eyes. They really go offline mentally. They retreat. They have no more desire to pretend and experience anything. And I have experienced it myself. There you feel this, that narcissists see other persons as objects. You feel like you are suddenly becoming an object, because before you felt this, again, they always strategically, consciously and unconsciously love bomb you or work with they do splitting, the black and white thinking, and they also work with dopamine directly in your brain. So they make you feel good, or they use fear or to scare you, or pain. So there is that white and black, joy and pain, and what they do if somebody enters is they spread this dopamine everywhere in there. They make this magic happen, magic in the brain of everyone. It's so hyper plastic, hypocrite, happy, You don't even need to Photoshop these pictures. They are too perfect already. And then suddenly it's completely gone, like off, and you feel this. You feel like they treat you like an object, They are gone. They are gone mentally. They don't even. If you go on and try to interact, at least in a reduced way, like okay, the guests are gone, but we can still maybe I can still communicate in some way. There is nobody anymore. It's scary. And yeah, but for kids, you must imagine, how do kids get that together in the in the brain? Why is my mom, my dad, sometimes suddenly everything is perfect, and then suddenly I'm invisible? So this is a subtle way of abuse, because it will not show to the public, but it is a topic for the kids, a big topic for the kids that are living with this. That especially in terms of a covert narcissist, the children will lack one part of their parents. So if the covert narcissist is male, he will have probably no concept of anything, not even a concept about who he is. Even his false self is crumbled, so he has no concepts anymore. And then what he does is mimicking other people. And if it comes to how he treats his kids, he will try to mimic the original mother of the kids, because this is the only thing he knows. There is someone who did something with the kids, and this is naturally the mother. So these kids will have kind of two mothers, one real mother and one fake mother. And a third kind of subtle abuse is that the true mother of the children, if there exists an empath in the relationship, the original parent, the father or the mother is an empath, then this will be the mother for the children. And if the mother is narcissistic, then it will use a certain confusion about the concept, because she will also envy that relationship that the father has to the kids, because this father then is both father and mother to the kids, because he has the empathic side that the mother should actually represent, because she could do it better if she was not a narcissist. But then the father will naturally take this role too. So here we have another challenge that the kids will have, especially if the relationship goes into a divorce, and then the mother will see her chance to make all the mistakes and to make good of it, or try to start being a real mother. But it's too late. And also she will of course need the kids to extract supply, and then the more empathic part will let the kids go if it becomes a struggle, because once there is violence happening to kids, the person who really loves the kids will let them go, at least for a while, in order to not let them be torn apart in this moment, Yeah, so now we already have shed some light on these more subtle ways of child abuse. And what I also want to point out is that I am very happy, and I welcome the fact that in our Western countries we live in, or I live in, and probably you too, but I welcome it no matter where, that physical violence towards kids is absolutely no option, and is also, it's persecuted. So if somebody beats a child or abuses it physically in other ways, then there will be the state or other persons that will protect the kids. But mental abuse in this way is perfectly legal. So in Germany, the law says, or the state and the bureaus or the institutions that are taking care for kids, or supposed to take care, they say better a narcissistic parent than no parent. And this is true in most cases. But there is a great disbalance, because mental abuse is perfectly legal and is done on a very wide range, and in very many cases I think it's almost everywhere, in your village, in your neighborhood, and most people don't even doing it consciously, but this is something that needs to be addressed, and to just put it in your consciousness, in your awareness, that physical violence in most cases is easier to battle, because already, because the kid will, if it takes over the kid, you will see something happen with the face, or what happened to you, well I got beaten, but the mental is hard to see, the scars that are done to the kids. You don't see it on a first glance. It's very hard to spot, and it's very hard to get the kids opening up about this also, because the kids will, you cannot expect kids to articulate this, to even be conscious about what happens. They will suppress this. They will at all costs try to maintain the picture of a healthy, or of a relationship that is okay to their parent at all costs. And this is why they are so vulnerable for this abuse. It's a tough topic, I must say. Yes, and the last thing I want to tell you is that this abuse of child is, it lies, of course, in the nature of the narcissist, and it cannot be avoided. It is kind of a fact, it's a fact that narcissists need to abuse, and this comes from this dependence. The narcissist has the dependence of people around them to validate their false self and the shared fantasy. This is a kind of magic that the narcissist needs to happen, and this is, by the way, also why narcissists tend to occult things or black magic, because they want to extend this magic to other people too. So if it works on themselves, they try to get supply by using this, probably, I don't know. And this is also why they are willing, if a narcissist is threatened by being isolated or being alone, they will not shy away from anything. They will not shy away from abusing their own offspring to extract narcissistic supply, or children of others, They will not shy away from anything. Yeah, and what I want to tell you also is that I will not give you advice on a video on YouTube what you should do with your children when they are in a narcissistic household, confronted with narcissistic parents. because children are, it's a very personal thing, and I would not ever try to interfere with how other parents handle their kids or go into this private sphere. You know, in a one-on-one consultation, if I was a coach and have a profound knowledge about this topic, then there could be opportunities that you can give people, but I would just recommend you to listen to your feelings and take all the information and help that you can get, and that's it. Hey people, obviously I forgot something, but I will deliver it right now. And there is a lot of gang stalkers, zombies, skinwalkers in the forest today. And I made my escape. Now I'm here to tell you the last thing about children in narcissistic situations. If they are surrounded by multiple narcissists, each narcissist will project another shared fantasy on the kid and force the kid to accept it, because the narcissist relies on this shared fantasy to be validated by external individuals for the narcissist objects. And this is another challenge the kids will face. But there is a light, there is you, and there is the child itself. You might think that a child will become narcissistic too if it is raised with narcissistic parents, but this is not the case. It's rather a low chance that this will happen, so there's hope. You can support your child, and this is an advice I can give you without stepping too close into your private sphere, because I respect it very much. I respect you and the relationship to your child very much. That is why I say follow your feelings and find the right way. But I think it's never wrong when you are in a safe environment with the kid, without narcissists around. You can show and tell the child that it is none of the three roles, you know. It's not invisible child, helper child, it's not a golden child, and it's also not a scapegoat, you know. It's an individual person that can decide over itself. It has his private sphere, its rights, and just give it this unconditional love that every child deserves. Yes. And then finally we finish with Psalm 127, a song of ascents of Solomon. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies at the gate.